David Suttle, the voice of the Plainsmen, alongside Laramie head coach Clint Reed, who just wrapped up his fourth season at the helm of the program. Ended up with a 2-8 record after the playoffs and a loss in the first round. From your perspective, you've had a little bit of time to think about it now here, almost about a week since the season ended. How would you kind of put a capsule on 2020 and what happened with this team this year?
You know, with the way everything started in 2020 and the uncertain times in our community and our society, we were blessed to play the game. So I'm very happy in the sense that I'm very thankful that the kids got to play a season. They got to participate in some activities, football and all the other activities that are going on here in Laramie. But as far as us as a program and what we're putting on the field, we're continuing to work. So you're always going to be disappointed if you're not getting to where your goals are. And I know the team and the kids really had aspirations of making a push in the playoffs, making a push more toward the state. That's every kid's dream, that's every kid's goal, and it is continuing our goals as a coaching staff and as a program. So we'll go back and we'll self-reflect and we'll do some, sharpen up the pencils and get the erasers out and start tweaking some things and seeing what we need to do. And so I'm very thankful for the seniors that were with us this year.
Talk about high points. What kind of stood out to you that was a high point for your squad this year?
We saw a lot of good productivity in the run game. Isaac back there, and as Nutt was coming in and out of injuries himself until Isaac hit injuries later, and that is part of the game. We had a line that was starting to come together, some new faces, doing some gelling together and working on some technique, and you can see that growth continually going. We just weren't consistent. Something we talked about for 4 quarters and from game to game, that we were inconsistent, and that hurt us a lot.
Another positive I think you can take is you guys defended your home field pretty well. You went 2-1, so a winning record at home again. And, even in the loss, ended up being somewhat of a wildly entertaining and competitive game against Central. I know that was the game that you missed. What are some, drawbacks from the year that you take away, unfortunately?
Talking about that home and away, it was unfortunate, but air quality on top of the uncertainty and going up to KOWB, maybe we could have competed even better, being at home. We seem to play better at home.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, it's not a lie. Nobody likes to get on the big yellow bus. Nobody likes to travel in Wyoming. So hopefully we'll have a lot of home games next year. And that'll help us in that sense. But as far as this year goes, we have to figure out what is it that we need to do to prepare. How do we travel better? How do we get better to play on the road? How do we get excited from that moment, that starting kickoff?
You guys will have, if I calculate correctly, I think 3 returning starters on each side of the football. You got 1 lineman, obviously a wingback who's probably, or H-back who's probably moving to tailback, and your quarterback. And then I know you've got a linebacker, a defensive end, and a corner on defense. So how do you build around those 3 guys with what you've got coming out?
Yeah, as far as returning starters, it might not seem like a lot, but our seniors and juniors did an awful lot. So a lot of our juniors did. So some kids got some playing time, they got some experience, and they're going to have to step up in those starting roles. We have a big sophomore freshman class behind us, so it's tough for them. It's tough for them to experience what it's like on Friday night and what it means to prepare, and that all starts basically, as of today.
Well, and what's funny was, I think it was just the other day I was here and talking to a different program, different coach, and there were some guys just throwing the football around on the football field. You guys weren't even around because I think it was Tuesday, election day, when everything was closed.
Yeah, some of the boys, it's just like being a kid again. You just want to get out like on recess in the playground in the park, and you just want to throw the ball around. But at the same time, I'm encouraged that they want to get out and they want to play the game. I want to make sure at this point in the season, or this part as our season is wound down to an end, get some rest. Start reflecting on things. Watch some film. You can learn a lot more in a classroom and on film than you can just throwing at this point in the season. Get your body some rest, get back in the weight room as soon as your body is healed, and get out and play some sports. And there's nothing like training for football, and we've talked about it before, but wrestlers and football players need to be wrestlers and basketball players and track. Anything they can do just to better themselves in competitiveness and in getting better as an athlete.
Well, again, thank you so much for your report, and we'll say best of luck in the future.
Thank you, David, for everything you do.
Plainsman coach Clint Reed kind of reviewing the 2020 high school football season for the Laramie Plainsmen.